It's a little different, but it is in a good way. It gives more depth to it, I think, in my experience of it. And I think the crew and cast worked so hard to make this like a movie. It's not just a TV series, it is a movie, and it looks just stunning. And I think anyone living in PEI is going to be very, very proud of their hometown and just how beautiful it looks.
You beat out over 1,800 girls for this coveted role. Tell me about the casting process, the moment you found out. Tell us all about that.
I did 2 self-tapes for the audition first, and then I was invited over to Toronto, and they actually did a couple auditions there, and they actually brought me outside to like talk to some flowers and do improvisation there. And I didn't realize at the time, but I was actually in the final 5. And then I think it was a couple weeks later we got the phone call, and it was my grandmother who answered it, and she didn't really have any expression, and me and my granddad were like, what's going on, what's happening? And she came back in, and we were kind of like, right, I don't have it, that's fine. And then she was like, yeah, they want you, and she started screaming and crying, and I was immediately phoning my best friend Mary on the phone, being like, oh my god, they want me, and she was crying with me, and it was just, it's still mind-blowing today.
Amazing. Now, this take on Anne, she's very outspoken, even more outspoken than, in the book, I would say, and maybe even ahead of her time. She's a bit of a feminist.
Yeah.
What are the parallels to you?
Well, I myself am a feminist. I think, in Moira's words, Anne is a kind of accidental feminist, but me, myself, I'm a feminist by choice. Yeah. But no, there's a lot of stuff I definitely agree with Anne on, especially in lines and stuff.
Awesome. I know you filmed in Toronto, but parts of it were actually in where the story takes place, PEI. Tell us about your experience filming here and now in PEI. It looks so beautiful.
It's so nice. I love PEI. It's just so beautiful, and I live in Ireland myself, so it reminded me quite a bit of Ireland too. Just like the rolling hills and those beautiful cliff sides, and we got some beautiful wide shots to truly just like appreciate it. And I kind of got to sneak down to the Anne shop a little bit, and at the time I had my red hair done, and it wasn't announced.
Wait,
that I was
red?
Anne.
You're not naturally red?
No.
Oh, brunette?
I'm blonde.
What?
I
No
know.
way. Really?
I know.
I would never second guess
Good.
it.
That's
Yeah,
good.
convincing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But no, I went at the Anne shop, and it wasn't really announced that I was Anne. They were like, oh, you'd be a great Anne. You got the hair and everything. And I was like, oh, really? Thank you.
Just take it and run.
So I was like, that's fine, and then I just quickly left. But
Yeah.
no, it was really fun.
I know you're a huge fan of the Lucy Montgomery books, but I've heard also that you chose not to watch the original films in this series. That's a conscious decision, or was it?
It was kind of intentional, unintentional. It was kind of, I didn't really make a big choice on it. It was just kind of, I didn't really want to be affected. I wanted my portrayal of Anne to just really come from me and Moira and the rest of the team, and just, I don't know, I just kind of didn't want anything kind of interfering with kind of how I believe, portray Anne.
Well, describe for us the preparation process. I mean, I know you speak with a distinct dialect in it, obviously. Did you work with a dialect coach? What was the whole preparation process like?
It was actually 2 days before we started filming, and the first day we were filming, we were over in PEI.
Right.
And I was all right at an American accent at the time, but of course that's not Canadian. So I was like, okay, and I was going on YouTube, and I was like, what's a Canadian accent? So they got me a dialect coach 2 days prior, and he came in, and he was great. His name was Jeffrey, and he was wonderful. And he just taught me the sorries and sometimes say a boot. That was terrible, but he kind of did it. And just kind of different things, just kind of add into it. And he was saying because the Irish accent isn't actually too far off from most PEI accents, I was actually doing pretty well. So
Amazing. It's totally convincing. No.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I love Nikki Carroll. Whale Rider is one of my favorite films. Like, describe, what was it like working with her? I mean, she's brought us some fantastic work over the last 10 years.
It was great. I loved it. I mean, all the directors, we had so many directors, and to kind of get each kind of different perspective from all of them for the same thing was such a wonderful experience. And just to work with so many different ones and get their different inputs on everything. It was very different each episode, but all in all, it was just so much fun.
Now, okay, this take on Anne, like, I mean, it does touch on many subjects that are still relevant today, like bullying, prejudice. I mean, self-image. I know Anne's very self-conscious about being a redhead. I mean, and then the whole statement where, oh, I can't wear pink. I mean, just a lot of things like that she internalizes. Like, what surprises are in this new take of Anne that we wouldn't have expected? There's legions of fans out there. Yeah.
I think there is a darker side to it, just to kind of put it bluntly. There is a lot more showing her abuse that she went through, the
Right.
more trauma. It really shows in full brutal honesty what she went through and what a lot of orphans went through back in the 1800s. And
Right.
it's heartbreaking, but it's honest. And I think it was kind of time to just let it be out there and not be a scary subject to talk about. And you know, of course, she has coping mechanisms, and maybe that's why she has such a big imagination. Maybe that's why she talks so much. So we do kind of go into that just to kind of explain a little bit more about her. And also, we have some characters that are getting further backstories too, just characters we know and love. And
Right.
I think it's nice to kind of see in depth what they went through as well, and not just Anne.
Amazing. Now, one of the things I love most about, I've only seen the first, the premiere episode, but I mean, I really love the chemistry that you share with your guardians. Geraldine James as Marilla, fantastic chemistry,
Oh
and
my
you
God.
and Matt. It's just like a father-daughter chemistry
Yes,
between you and R.H.
absolutely.
Thompson as Matthew. Tell us about the whole, process working together, your bonding.
Oh, it's just as it is off screen as it is on screen.
Yeah.
It's the exact same. They were, I mean, I can never really express my admiration for them just
Yeah.
because they were so amazing, and they have so much experience, and I learned so much from them. I think RH and me scenes are a little bit more quieter as well because Matthew is a little bit more subdued, but
Right.
our scenes, as soon as they yelled cut, we'd just be dancing around the room and we'd be like making like terrible puns, and there were a lot of inside jokes, and we didn't really take it like full serious actors doing the job. We messed around, which was great fun.
Amazing. What was your biggest challenge? I mean, I'm sure there's many, but what would you say was the biggest challenge?
I think mainly outside shots in the winter.
Oh,
Like we were discussing.
it was in
this
the
before.
shot in the winter, yeah.
It was freezing, and it
Ugh.
was like the dresses. They're beautiful,
Yeah.
and they tried to put as many layers under as possible, but it was cold.
Oh.
So to kind of talk without chittering and like pretend like it's fine, and especially like running in
Yeah.
the snow, it's so tough. But
Oh,
I mean, it
it
was great
is.
fun anyway. I had a lot of snowball fights with people.
Ah.
Camera crew, they
They're a lot
loved
of
it and
fun.
hated it.
Well, tell us some fun facts. I know when you're homeschooled. Tell us about that. That's like super cool. That's rare that we.
I mean, I've been homeschooled my whole life. I've never. The only time I ever stepped foot in a school was to actually watch my friend perform in a show. So, I don't know.
Okay.
I guess that's just kind of how it is, and it's just been my whole life, and I love it. But if in a few years I decide, hey, I want to go to school, then maybe that's what I'll go down, and maybe I'll just stay homeschooled. I don't know yet.
Now, many of your bios say you're Irish Canadian, but you do live in Ireland. But tell us
do.
a bit about your ancestry. Like what?
Well, my mum was actually born in Calgary.
Calgary, okay, cool.
And my grandparents are both Scottish. So there's kind of like an interesting like dynamic going on there. So there's a lot of difference, but I find myself a very full, broad Irish person, even though my accent isn't that strong. But I feel very Irish inside me, so it's good.
No. What do you like? What are your interests like outside? I followed you. I know you have a YouTube channel. I followed it. It
Oh,
was like
no!
I know you love. It's super cool. You use a GoPro, right? You're pretty crafty.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh God,
Yeah.
it's like it's not even a GoPro. It's like a fake GoPro.
Uh.
I'm Irish, okay? I'm
Yeah.
sheep.
No, we all have to start somewhere.
Great.
Trust me. My first camera was a pen camera. It was like hilarious. It wasn't even a camera,
That's
but
amazing.
you work your way up eventually, you know.
But no, I mean, I do a lot of singing and dancing,
Yeah.
just like just around my little hometown, and yeah, I do have a YouTube channel. I like making little videos and editing. I'm making one while I'm here in Canada, so I don't know. I quite like all aspects of filming as well. So obviously on set, I learned a lot about editing and filming from the crew. So I kind of took that back with me, and I use it now in what I do, just with filming little vlogs and stuff.